Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. Welcome to another episode of Rural Heritage TV. On a perfect fall day, a number of Suffolk owners converged on the property owned by Chris and Lavada Pidcock in Nelsonville, Ohio. Their mission was simple: to enjoy one another's company and spend some time logging, with the more experienced loggers giving advice to the others. Chris told us a little about the history of the property.
The coal mine was right over the hill, the Carbondale coal mine. And when my great-grandpa came in from Germany, he migrated down here to work in the coal mines. And that's how this farm got put together. This is actually, I think, 3 or 4 different smaller parcels he put together. And this is where he raised his family.
And you worked in the mines too?
Yeah,
when you were young?
Mines, yeah. Well, I worked in for 29 years. I was
Really?
miner and underground.
Okay.
And but there was a lot difference in working in the coal mines today than there was in working in them in 1910. So.
Yeah.
But
right.
My grandpa came in here because of the erosion at the, back in the early 1900s, there was no trees in this area.
Really?
No, the iron ore furnaces, what the people didn't use for building supplies, the coal mines used for mine posts and timbers, and then the iron ore furnaces used the rest of it for charcoal to make iron. And so if you look at pictures of this region around here, there was no trees, there was brush.
I'll be done.
And so then you got an erosion problem. Well,
Right.
When they got an erosion problem, that's how Wayne National Forest was started. And Zalaski State Forest, they came in and bought big tracts of land and just let them grow up to trees. And so Grandpa, there was an erosion issue. So when Grandpa started, in the 40s, he started seeing the problems. He planted the pine trees. He planted white pines over here. He planted red pines over on that hill. And it was a way of stopping erosion. And
Right.
now when we cut the pines, the tulip poplar's coming so good that the erosion problem is done. But it's just...
You got a bit of diversity in here with trees.
Yeah.
You got some oaks in here.
Yeah, there's a big diversity in trees. There's a lot of low value timber here. There's a handful, a little bit of value. And but if you use it the way I'm saying, that we'll take it, run it through a local small band mill, there's a lot of value.
Right.
And that's
right. Because it stays in the community. It doesn't.
It stays in the community, and when I can call a guy,
you don't need market price.
No. And when I can call a guy and say I need so many 2x4s or whatever, and that structure up on the hill where we've just at, it'll be finished out with wood off this farm. Yeah. I got some big red oak butt logs where the trees blew over in the last couple of years. I cutting the butt logs off, and we're going to saw boards out of that. These pines will be used in it for 2x4s and stuff, and it's low value that'll become high value to me. And there's a lot of low value timber here. There's a handful, a little bit of value, and but if you use it the way I'm saying, that we'll take it, run it through a local small band mill, there's a lot of value.
Right.
And that's
right. Because it stays in the community. It doesn't.
It stays in the community, and when I can call a guy,
you don't need market price.
No. And when I can call a guy and say I need so many 2x4s or whatever, and that structure up on the hill where we've just at, it'll be finished out with wood off this farm. Yeah. I got some big red oak butt logs where the trees blew over in the last couple of years. I cutting the butt logs off, and we're going to saw boards out of that. These pines will be used in it for 2x4s and stuff, and it's low value that'll become high value to me.
Of course, yeah. You like people.
Yeah.
You definitely like people.
Yeah, I like people. I like people that have a purpose. Think about what they're doing, and I'm very fortunate to know the people I know, and it was easy. I don't know how I met them, and next thing you know, it became easy for me. And some of them I talk to constantly, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're easy to respect.
Yeah, well, they're very easy to respect.
And they got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And they don't take themselves serious.
No,
I mean,
but you know, they've all got a certain skill.
Right.
You know, just like Clifford Cox up there, we've had what we call the corn planting. He come in here with one row equipment, and he worked at, you know, things with the one row equipment, planted corn. Well, the locals around here had never seen one row corn planter because, you know, the Amish, they was from on up north in the flatter country.
Right.
They used a bigger equipment.
Right.
And so, you know, he brought his skill in on that. Dan Murphy, you know, he brought his skill in on. That's what they was used to in the South.
Right.
And then Jason and Ben and the horses and the logging and stuff, Ralph Rice, you know, it's just all happened.
They bring different skill sets, and they appreciate each other's skills.
Yeah.
They don't say my way is right.
Yeah, and I don't have no real skill set, so I appreciate all their skills too. And you know, I'm very fortunate they're all friends.
Yeah.
I can call them anytime.
Yeah.
And to be able to put something this together, I really like the idea of it, because if I can find people who are interested in doing this, I can bring all this different skills together so they can come see them, you know, and I can break that barrier between, and because once they come down here and meet these people once, it's easier to get on the phone and call them.
Right.
And
absolutely,
you know, answer their questions, and it's just going to work out good. It's going to be a good thing.
All right, that was 2 cuts. You saw that? He was watching that arrow, and he's going to show you that that's where the tree's going, right in that gap. Because that material that he left right here in the throat of this is the front of the hinge. This is why it's called an open face hinge, because he's now going to plunge in and establish the back of the hinge, and we'll keep it pretty narrow because this tree is going to go the way, we're letting this tree go the way it wants to go. If you have the option, always let the tree go the way it wants to go. Don't make it any harder than you have to. If the tree's going into a hole, it's not going to hurt any residual, and you can safely extract it, let it go that way. Move on to the next tree. So this 1, 2, so he's ready. And you notice that he was very conscientious about getting this face, the number 2 cut, to be level. Because by having that level, he can put the tip of his bar in that face and pull it around here and start his number 3 cut, and it'll be level with this number 2 cut, so that it goes in, so that when he comes from the other side and releases it, that his cuts are matched. Because they're off, hopefully, because it's hard to do it. This is practice. This is an art that we practice, like lawyers practice law and doctors practice medicine, and you know, timber fellers practice timber felling. So y'all got that? 1, 2. Now we're going to go cut number 3 now.
So that's about the face cut. Do you do about a quarter of the?
I do. I never make it much more than about 12%, 10 to 12. The shallower, and it happens on species too. Some species have got a lot of sapwood, and the sapwood's tough. So if you don't want to put your cut so far back in the tree that you're relying totally on heartwood, because heartwood's brittle, because it'll hold until that mouth closes. Until this closes, that hinge will hold that tree going right where you want it. So once it closes, it's going to break that hinge. So if you got a big old thick hinge, it'll crack a slab off your log. And that's bad because that's a manufacturing defect. As far as forest products go in the big picture, the manufacturing starts when he cranks that saw. Because if he damages that tree with his lack of skill, then you've reduced the value of your product because of your skill level. So it's very important to know how to produce logs without damaging them from bad cuts. Sometimes you're going to make bad cuts anyway. Like right here, this hinge won't need to be real big because the tree's going to fall fast, and the faster it falls, the thinner the hinge needs to be. So it will break before it cracks up the log. This is hard. This may break. White pine's pretty brittle.
According to the game of logging, you want your hinge to be 80% of the tree diameter. So a 10-inch tree, you would want an 8-inch wide hinge. So there's no need to go any farther back in the tree than you have to get that 8 inches, because the farther back you go, the more chance you'll hit rot, and then you won't have the integrity of your hinge.
Because you're depending on that fiber to control that tree as it goes to the ground.
And the reason we do such an angle on that is so it'll hold all the way down. You know, if you make a little cut like that, it's going to break right here. So it's going to break before it gets down to where you need to go. So that's why this will hold all the way. At the very last second, then it'll break off. A lot of people will come way back into a tree and make a little narrow like that.
And you know it's a lot harder to match your cuts the deeper you go. And we don't want to make this any harder. We want to make it easier. So the shallower face is a lot easier to match your cuts. So, he's going to go with number 3. I'm not going to jinx him by saying he's going to follow it on that. Okay, you saw what he did? He come back and he plunged in and established the back of the hinge. So now you got a hinge about this thick. He cut half of the tree out. So the tree is now totally being held by, by the hinge and the remaining part of the wood that he's going to cut when he releases the latch. Now he's putting a wedge in it so that he's making sure that the tree doesn't rock over on the danger side. Because remember, we established the safe and danger to establish what was our 3rd and 4th cut, the wedging cut and the release cut. So it's about ready to go. I think everybody's probably safe where they are now. I don't think that it's going to fall on anybody. It wants to go right over there, and we're going to let it go over there. If you want to step back, if you feel more secure about it, that's all right. You all signed a release form, right? Right. All right, he's 90% through. He just got a little bit of wood left, which we call the latch.
Have you seen it move yet?
No.
It doesn't know it's been cut. This tree's cut right now, but it doesn't know it's cut.
Oh, you cut it all the way through?
No, I mean, it's the latch only holding it.
That's okay, only the latch is holding it. So he's 90% totally removed. So that's the cool thing about this being a controlled method. Timber felling does not need to be a gamble. It needs to be a procedural, principled way of doing things. Look up. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Now walk up. Don't walk straight up immediately because there's debris falling out of the tree. We rode because of no vegetation on the surface. All right.
Go ahead, Bill. No, we're going to get another.
Yeah, this gentleman wants it down to 8 inches.
We can take it on down one more. Is that,
Cut a few more limbs off of him. Just be aware of that spring pole's on there and don't cut that. You've already cut the end off of it.
Just limit it and I'll run tape down.
Yeah. did the forces there, how he did that over, under, round and through. And then when he was cutting it, he saw that the log was going to raise. So if he'd have tried to part it from the bottom, it would have pinched his saw. He took the saw out and parted it from the top. And you're always observing the forces, so you can be that Jedi chainsaw operator and not get your saw stuck.
You want to show them on a better one?
Yeah, we can go ahead. I guess, and see, it rolled it over so that
We can relimb it now.
so we can continue the limbing process. But it also hit our marks.
That's true. Yeah.
We can't see where it's look. You can go ahead and do it if you want to. Y'all do it from the safe side.
I'm going to let you do it.
Did everybody notice this spring pole stand back up? This thing, the whole tree was resting on this.
That's probably what pushed it and made
That's
it
what
roll.
rolled it over is when this spring pole released this pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and try to not get my saw stuck. Being is
See you guys.
when it's not
Yeah.
growing fast, it's not vigorous and not healthy. So this tree is subject to all sorts of problems based on it being growing too slow, overcrowded.
Come on. Oh, oh.
And the log arch provides its impact on the ground, increases the capacity of the horses to move wood.
Back.
Most importantly, it increases operator safety. If you get hurt doing this, you're not going to do it. So when he gets up on that log arch, he's in a safe place. He's out of the
And every
way.
link you get you that much more suspension. So that's why we
Back
work
up
so
and
hard to get it tight.
He backs up and gets directly over it. And another cool thing about the
don't
arch is it buffers the load. When that chain swings, it allows the horses to feel movement. It's not like they're hooked to a dead solid load. So they actually try harder when they can feel that little buffering. And that power horse would operate, they'd go back up by bullets. That's a pretty good log. Say again, sir? When that wedge starts heading back, stop beating it. Number 4, the release cut, the latch. Everybody ready?
I can't get anything. They backed up too far. If you just, I mean, just a couple inches, all we need.
Try that, Ben. See if you get that chain.
I can't get. There, I got it.
There you go.
All right.
What the old man died.
That's called supplemental signaling.
Has them horses ever logged?
Never.
Maybe a little bit of firewood.
Firewood's all he said. I don't know if they logged them or if he just cut some firewood around.
Honest pair of colts right there. Some ridge wind, I believe, in them horses. Where's Pidcock?
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of Back to the Land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.